Hello Captains, this is Metaman. Today we're going to be doing a review and look at the Yoshino, which is a Tier 10 coal ship, a super cruiser style ship for the Japanese Navy, and doing a little comparison with her versus some other ships that I have, which is the Moskva, the Des Moines, and the Worcester. I know there's a Hindenburg, Stalingrad. I cannot give an opinion versus those because I do not have those. Now the Stalingrad I feel will be stronger, but the Hindenburg I don't have a great opinion on just because I don't have her. The Yoshino is a 3x3 configuration of her 310mm guns. To start out with her armor layout, we'll start out with the bad. Just like the Yoshino, she does not have the extra belts that some of the other cruisers will have. Let's put up even a Des Moines. Even a Des Moines will have a belt. The Yoshino does not. Hers is 30mm throughout. $30mm and on the deck, and then in the front and the back it's going to be the 25. But she does have that 175mm plating in the back, just on that little portion. And just like I said with the Azuma, if you angle that correctly with her odd shaped or unique shaped citadel, it's not going to block all incoming AP shells, but it will help a little bit controlling those citadel hits on you. So as I said with the Azuma, she's more of a kiting ship than face on. Survivability, I'm going to go ahead and call out the numbers. You can verify if you want to, but I've already written down all these numbers comparative with the Des Moines, Moskva, and Worcester. The Yoshino has the 61,800. The Moskva's in first place with 65,400. The Des Moines and the Worcester are much lower. Des Moines is at 50,600. The Worcester's at 45,400. And what multiplies this is in the equipment. With Superintendent, the Yoshino, just like the Azuma, gets the 5th heel. If we go over to the Des Moines or any of the other cruisers, well, we can go right into Des Moines, you're going to see that there's only 4 heels. And they also, like on the Des Moines, it heals at 303 per second. On the Worcester, it heals at, I believe, 272 per second. And at the Yoshino, heals at 309 per second. Now, the Moskva heals a lot more per second, but she only has 4 heals. So at the end of the day, theoretical HP pool, the Yoshino's at 105,060. The Moskva tops the leaderboard at 109,304. But the Des Moines and the Worcester are far behind. The Des Moines at 84,536. The Worcester's at 75,864. So that's at least a 25% advantage over the Worcester and a 16, almost a 20% advantage over the Des Moines. Now she doesn't have as good of armor as the Des Moines, but she has so much more health. And the way that most people probably will play her is kind of like the Otago, the Ozuma. You take advantage of the huge alpha strike that the Yoshino, Otago, the Ozuma have versus similar ships of the same tier. With the HE alpha damage of 5,100 per shell and 27% fire chance, and then on the AP you have 8,650. What happens is the Des Moines and the Worcester have a lot more DPM, but with their flight time and with how their ships are set up, they're mostly behind islands. The Yoshino is an open water ship. And if you were throwing out higher DPM with lower alpha strikes in the open water, you'd get sunk a lot faster. Since you have an alpha strike, you can shoot, fire, go dark, come back when you want to. You dictate the fight. The other ships of this class do not have the torpedoes. They are seen from pretty far away. That's 2.5 that they can be seen far away. But when you're firing them down lanes that the enemy has to come through, or if you're aiming at in the distance battleships, those torpedoes hit, and you'll see in my video that they hit. And they hit hard, 20,967. And you have 8 per side, and you have, so that's 16 total. They too take a long time to reload at 167 seconds. And the torpedo arcs are similar to, say, the Otago, as in you shoot one set, which here they are, right here. You shoot one set to the front portion of the arc on the side, and then the other set has to hit toward, or be aimed at towards the second half of the ship. So you have to be pretty broadside when you let out these torps, at least your second set. One thing that's kind of funny is you always think of the Des Moines and the Worcester as being the AA ships. Well, the Yoshino, being off on her own, kind of a lone wolf, she still has an AA rating of 90. And the Des Moines, you can set her up differently, but the way I have her set up, let's see what I have her. I know the Worcester's at 96, but my Des Moines, her AA's at 83. Now that's just the way that I have her set up. That doesn't mean that that's her top of the line, but this isn't top of the line with what I could have with the Yoshino either. Maneuverability, she's at 34. The Des Moines at 33. The Worcester's at 34.6. The Moskva is at 36.2, so a lot faster. But she doesn't turn very well either. Now, the things that the Yoshino does not have versus the Moskva, Des Moines, and the Worcester, she does not have the radar. But what she does have is she creates fires from open water. She has those torps. Am I saying she's the best in class? No, I'm not. But if you are pretty good with the Otago, Miyoko, or Azuma, she could fit your style. If you like to sit behind islands, you're going to be more of a Des Moines or a Worcester style. If you like to be able to get into the open water, Yoshino, Azuma, and Otago can fit that style. You do not want a broadside in them, or at least be visible broadside, but she is a capable ship. None of the ships in the 8, 9, or 10 tier, as in the cruisers, are horrible. They just have to be played to a particular style for what is advantageous to their attributes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and show you a video using her HE, using her AP, and using her torpedoes. Here we are in a 8, 9, and 10 match, mostly 9s and 10s. I'm going to be supporting our DD as he moves up towards the cap. Not going to get too close so that I don't get focus fired. We do have that nice health pool and nice extra heal, but we don't want to abuse that either. Going to be moving up with the Mogador to help with if he spots a DD, and also I want to be supporting that DD with AA if this Lexington wants to come after him. With that 90 AA, I can help out a little bit. I like the Yoshino, the Otago, and the Azuma. They're first in class in their respective tiers for Alpha Strike per HE shell and Fire Chance. I believe they're tied, or I believe the Azuma and the Yoshino is tied in Fire Chance per shell, but HE, as in someone else in that tier, has the same Fire Chance, but the Yoshino and the Azuma are first in class in accuracy, I believe, for their cruiser class and for HE fire or HE Alpha Strike damage per shell. The nice thing is they can fire and go dark. Other ships, to get their DPM out, they need to be able to keep firing, and you either have to be behind an island to do that if you're a cruiser, or you're going to get deleted, or stay at really long distance, and then your AA and your HP's not really helping the team. One salvo, 6,732 on an HE salvo. I do use time and distance as my armor also. There I did get a little bit lucky not to take more damage than I did. I'll explain that in a second. Right here I'm going to help out with this Fletcher. This salvo doesn't do a great amount of damage, but it ruins some of his modules and helps get him in position to get killed. They were not supporting their DD in this position. He's kind of doomed from the get-go here. He went off to the side. Mogador finishes him off. The nice thing with the Azuma and the Yoshino and the Otago, you can shoot that salvo, and if I want to go dark, I can. And there's plenty of damage coming out of that one salvo. I don't need to keep shooting. We get our 6,700 on one salvo. If I want, I can go dark here again, and I've created a fire already. That's the nice thing. But since he put that fire out, I am going to fire again. See if I can get lucky and get another fire, so it's uncontrollable fires. Our Buffalo went up a little bit too far. He could have went up behind those islands. There was no reason to go out in the open. You're facing multiple battleships. But I was saying with the time and distance, I can go dark for a minute. Like right here, I'm purposely going dark. I'm going to be setting up my torpedo. I don't use them just to go after a certain ship a lot of times. A lot of times I'm trying to throw them down lanes that we know that the ships have to come down. And there's no choice for them to... There's 8 torpedoes going in that area. Here I switch targets. I'm going to go after the Massachusetts. They're always nice and flammable. Get 2 fires on him. But what I was saying with the time and distance
is with this distance that I'm staying away, I'm not trying to stay necessarily in a farming position, but I know I'm going to be able to keep hitting them. And when I show a little bit of broadside, they're going to aim at me. And with me having such a good health pool, and when I'm turning, I'm trying to bait them into wasting time to turn their turrets towards me and to fire. And when I'm rotating, I'm going to get to a side so that they're not going to get a perfect broadside on me. I have the health pool, I might as well use it. I have the extra heal, I might as well use it. Here are my torpedoes. I think that German battleship had his hydro up. He didn't end up eating one of those. But you'll see how these other battleships are down this lane, and they're just going to eat torps. There's so many in there, and it's saturating an area, and they can go for so far that you're going to get hits. Right here, Hindenburg, 17,000. That Massachusetts is still back there. 11,000, a kill. So we're at 87,000. We have the cap. There's no reason to move up. Another fire. Like I said, if you're looking for an overpowered ship, I wouldn't look at the Yoshino. But if you play her to her attributes and her advantages, she definitely can win. If you're looking for the overpowered ship, look no further than the Stalingrad. But if you're wanting an Otago style ship, the Yoshino and the Azuma are definitely that. The reason that I feel the Yoshino fits better or similarly to the Otago is the Otago and the, here I show broadside. I have plenty of health. I'm okay showing broadside to this Hindenburg. I want him to stay engaged with me. I want him to be firing at me. I have so much health, I know that he's going to go away before I do. And if you don't use your health, what's the use of having it? But the Otago, topping class, as in caliber and HE damage per shell. Azuma, topping class or tied in class, well, actually topping class at the 310 millimeter, and topping class HE damage per shell. Same thing with the Yoshino. So they play a lot more similarly than what, say, the Zhao would. Because the Zhao still has those 203s, but to get that DPM out, she has to stay visible. The reload rate had definitely went up for the Zhao, but she also has to stay visible. So your strategy, here I'm going to switch over my AP, show what she can do, even at 14 kilometers. And see those salvos, that's 12,975. I'm going to hit her with another AP salvo in a second after she dodges these torps. I was thinking she might have ate these torps. She doesn't. She did a good job avoiding those. But now I'm going to wait my time, wait until she gets a good broadside. That's what you need to do with the Yoshino and the Azuma AP. But watch this salvo. 15,000. The AP works, you just got to get a good broadside, and they have to be aiming at cruisers. Now, if I'm closer, I can shoot them at the battleships, but a lot of times I'll still aim at the upper belt, or I'll aim at the bow and stern if they're bow, or if they're broadside to me. Another kill. But what I was saying is that the Yoshino and the Azuma play, they replicate what the Otago does closer than what the Zhao does to the Otago, just because of higher caliber for the class, for that tier. They get their Alpha Strike out. They're more of an Alpha Strike ship. I just think that to me, they're more of the true follow-up to the Miyoko, the Otago, than, say, the Ibuki and the Zhao. Here, watch the damage that we can put out on this Holland. We come back to try to help him. We're not going to be able to save that CV, but watch the damage we do on this Holland, as in tearing up modules, doing damage. We only did 2,500 on that one, but a lot of times we'll be getting 3,000 to 5,000 on these salvos on these DDs. With that Alpha Strike ability, what it really affects is these lower light-skinned ships. Like right there. Another 3,300, but we're crushing these modules also. Nice salvo right there. Real compact. We get the kill. It's kill number 3. And we're up over 150,000 damage. And these long-legged torps, I can just shoot down in this area, and if their cruiser, because we know the Russian cruiser's still down here, they'll still reach them. I feel that the Yoshino and the Zuma and the Tago, they also fill a pretty good role with their HE. They counterplay some of these other super cruisers, as in the accuracy, as in the neat thing with the armor penetration, as in for the HE, they have the Azuma and the Yoshino have a 52 HE penetration, so they can hit, say, the Gerber first or different ships like that other ships wouldn't be able to pen in the bow and stern, and they can, because they hit that magic number of over 50. But with accuracy, if this Riga is willing to fight back and forth with me, I'm going to have better accuracy. I'm going to have better Alpha Strike ability with my HE, because I'm not going to give him a broadside for his AP. The right thing for him to do would be just to disappear, but it's the end of the match. But do I like the Yoshino, and do I think she's worth it? If you like playing the Tago, I definitely think that she plays similar to that style, and I like her. So let's see what we ended up with on damage. 171,500 damage. A couple citadels, used my AP a little bit. Killed 3 ships. I definitely like the Yoshino, but she's definitely not overpowered either. But she fills in that role if you like the Atago. So this is meta_man 2002. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and please leave in comments any ships that you'd like to see in the future. You guys have a wonderful day.